Okay, let's talk about the little blue shield over here in the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner. These are the host controls in Google Meet. And if we click on them, we get this menu that pops out. You have quick access, let everyone share their screen, send chat messages, or view all host settings. For sharing their screen and sending chat messages, continue on with whatever you have established with your students using Zoom. If you let students share their screen, then leave it on. I suggest turning it off, especially at the beginning of the school year or a new semester when we get new students, because you've got to get them used to your rules and appropriate use of stuff, because of course teenagers are going to try you and attempt to do stuff that they shouldn't. So I would recommend turning off the ability for them to share their screen at certain times. To turn one of these off, you just slide the slider to the left to make it gray. That's off. A lot of you use the chat feature in Zoom or Google Meet, so feel free to keep that on or turn it off however you like. You can also adjust these on the fly in a meeting at a moment's notice if you want to keep the chat messages turned off for the most part and then open it up just at a specific time for students to respond to stuff. You can. Quick access takes a few minutes to get used to. It seems like you would want to have quick access turned on just because of the name, but what quick access does is allows a meeting guest to access your meeting quickly and bypass a waiting room. So we don't want students to not go to a waiting room. So you want to turn quick access off. When you have quick access turned off, it forces people who are trying to get into your meeting into a waiting room, and then you have the ability to let them into your meeting when you want, after you've checked your roster, after you verify that it really is one of your students. So quick access has to be turned off in order to enable that waiting room. Another weird thing right now, as of almost the end of November, is that quick access by default is on for every meeting. So at the beginning of every meeting, the first thing that you have to do is come over here to the blue shield, click on it, and turn quick access off real quickly before anyone enters the meeting nickname that you have given them for your class for that day or that week, that month, or whatever. Quick access does not stay off once you turn it off. The next day for classes or the next block for classes, you're going to have to come in and turn it off again in order to activate that waiting room. Now, Google already has this in production for us so that it is set to off by default. Just as of November 19th, we don't have that. I believe I saw on the roadmap yesterday that it's a few weeks away. So hopefully by second semester, off will be default for us in Virginia Beach City Public Schools. These are your host controls, again, located over here when you click on the blue shield. One last thing I want to show you about host controls, view all host settings. This is where you can, again, you get these three options once again, but you can also set your audio, which audio input you're using, and which video input you are using. For microphone, you want to make sure that you are using the correct microphone. I have several choices here, and I have my Google Meet microphone turned off so that I can record this video in Loom. And noise cancellation is wonderful. It cancels out background noise of cars driving by, maybe trash cans being emptied if you're at school. I don't think it's going to work against jet noise, but that's another issue. And then here are your default speakers. Video, you're going to select the appropriate camera, whether you use the one that's built in with your laptop or a separate one that plugs in by USB. And you're going to want to adjust your send and receive resolutions as necessary. We have seen that there's a lag with the video and the audio, so you may want to not use high definition and you may want to just use standard definition. Of course, this will give you less quality, but that's something to try before turning off your video completely. And then back to the host controls, that's quick access, share screen, and send chat messages. There's no save button, so once you slide these and select them the way that you want to have them, you can just click the X and you are done.